Now, the coalition has carried out something like over 2,000 airstrikes now on Libya. Why aren't they achieving their objective by now?
Well, they are achieving their objective, and that's to break up Libya and to bomb it into a state of chaos. Their objective is not to save civilians, it's to break up the country and to turn it into another Somalia, another Afghanistan, a failed state that they can take advantage of and manipulate and take all the resources.
Why? I mean, they can't afford that. They've got enough on their hands with Afghanistan, other problems throughout the world. Why on earth would they want Libya to be a chaotic state? After all, they're saying that they want to help the Libyan people who want a regime change. Simple as that.
Libya happens to be a country, a leader in Africa. I actually call Libya the crown of Africa. The biggest companies, corporations in Africa all happen to be in Libya. Libya was pushing for the African Union to unite under its wing, and it was the financial backbone of Africa. Libya was the Germany of Africa until this bombing started. Libyan banks were amongst the biggest investors across the world. In fact, the first step of this war was to take Libya's money by freezing its billions of dollars of assets in North America and Europe. That was the first step in this war. That's how the war started, financially, when they stole Libya's money.
But there'd be nothing left if you bomb the country in the way that you say they are doing. Once a rich country, no longer if you bomb it to bits. So surely it'd be a broken country if that's the case, once they try to inherit it.
It'll be broken for the people of Libya, who they don't care about. What they do care about is the financial assets and resources of Libya, which they'll appropriate. They've already set up an oil corporation in eastern Libya based in Benghazi, a national bank based in Benghazi. They control these, just like how they controlled the national bank in Bosnia.
Let me just ask you, clearly you see the situation as chaotic anyway, but if, let's say, the next step is a deployment of troops on the ground, what would the implication be if that were to happen?
I'd like to say that troops were already on the ground, because a lot of those targets could not be bombed without troops there covertly. You need troops on the ground to map out positions. I believe there's mercenaries there too. They've also been bringing in jihadists from all over the world, facilitating them through Egypt. In fact, there's reports of people from Egypt and Saudi Arabia and possibly even Afghanistan fighting now amongst the rebels against the Libyan government.
So if Gaddafi does go, if he is killed, you see the conflict going on and on, like, as you say, we've seen in Iraq and Afghanistan?
They want this conflict to last. They're in no rush to end this war. In fact, they have been deliberately bombing the rebels themselves. Channel 4 of Great Britain has actually documented NATO bombing the rebels, and it actually looked like it was deliberate. They are keeping a strategic stalemate between Benghazi and Tripoli. They are doing this to make them both dependent on the United States, the EU, and NATO as the arbitrators of Libya, who will decide the fate of the Libyan people.
All right, let me just broaden this now to Syria. America's already slapped sanctions on the country. The EU is imposing sanctions next week. How do you see Western interference there affecting the crisis in Syria?
Syria is something that has been an objective for quite a while now. Regime change is a stated objective in Libya. The United States, after 2003, was actually thinking of attacking Damascus, sending tanks there after Baghdad. This is part of the public record of what the Bush Jr. or Bush II White House was saying, that they wanted to go into Damascus. They are moving eastwards. We see they attacked Libya. They broke up Sudan. Now they're looking at Syria and Lebanon. Pakistan is destabilized. They're looking ultimately at Beijing. There's a lot of gas near Syria. In the
hang on, seriously, are you saying that this move eastwards is actually, ultimately, this is really a battle between China and the US and Western interests? You're bringing China into this factor.
Yes, I am. If you look at World War I, what happened before they attacked Germany? All the chess pieces were, before the war broke out, all the chess pieces were put into place. They were talking about the Ottoman Empire, the Baghdad-Constantinople Railroad, right now they are positioning themselves to challenge China.
So what
this is why you have these problems with, I'm sorry, but this is why you have these problems right now in Pakistan too. This is why the Pakistani government and the US government are at each other's throats about Osama bin Laden. They are moving towards China. This is why they are going after any energy sources that are going towards China. And there's a lot of untapped gas near Syria and Lebanon. Both Syria and Lebanon are connected. And they are looking at confiscating that gas through regime change. They will not attack Syria, though. Syria is an Iranian ally, and they have a mutual defense pact. If they attack Syria, you're going to see a war that involves Iran as well. Iran will intervene. Both Syria and Iran are allies.
Right. Just quickly, I want to ask you. You paint a picture of complete chaos throughout the region of this foreign intervention happening, and yet what we're seeing, though, in Palestine, many are saying this is a result of the Arab Spring, the Arab uprisings, where we're actually seeing Fatah and Hamas proposing to unite their Palestinian governments there in the West Bank and Gaza. What are the implications there? Is that a sign of potential stability in the region, something positive happening or not?
No, I see it as a managed act. Mahmoud Abbas and Fatah, which are morally bankrupt, would never unite with Hamas. They would never unite with Hamas unless the United States and the EU and Israel allowed them to do this. They gave them the green light for this. Of course, the Palestinian people want a unified government, and that's their right. But Mahmoud Abbas is such a client of the United States and Israel that he would have not taken this step without their permission. There's something in the works. And if I was a member of Hamas or part of that government or that political party, I would remember what happened with the Mecca Accords, how Saudi Arabia entrapped them into forming a government with Mahmoud Abbas and Fatah. And then after Fatah removed, they took the legitimacy out of Gaza, or the Gaza government in Gaza, or the Hamas government. There is something in the works here.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Mahdi Darius Nazemroaya, very interesting to hear what you have to say. Thanks for joining us live there in Canada.